Hi everyone, I am going to be doing a video reading. I like to do video readings because I have a horrible memory and it's just easier for me to communicate all my thoughts and feelings and what I get in a reading than typing it all out. It's just easier for me to actually say it. So I'm going to be doing this reading. This reading is a general reading. I did it for the whole group since I know all of you guys are looking for a reading. I'm sorry it's taken me so long. I took a nap trying to get my migraine to kind of stop, but that didn't help. So here I am. I'm going to try to muscle through this. Before I get started, I want to explain to you how I do my readings. What I do is lay out the cards, get my gut instincts, my gut feelings from what I see, and what spirit says and everything. And then what I do is go through my tarot books and actually read the actual meaning. And then I make a Mod Podge list in my little notebook. And that way I kind of stay on track during my readings and hopefully it makes sense. It's a lot easier when I'm face to face, but since I am not face to face with all of you guys, this is the alternative. Just a forewarning, my little boy is in that room in front of me, so he might come in here. If you see a little glitch in the video, that's me pausing it and coming back to you guys. So just a little heads up, I might get interrupted. So yeah, let me get started. The reading I decided to do for the whole group, like I said, was a general reading, and it is a horseshoe spread. It's a 7-card spread. And what I like to do is little clarification cards at the end to kind of summarize the whole reading, my gut instincts, everything that I felt during the reading. And it also touches base on stuff that I might have missed. And so yeah, that's just a little bonus I like to do for my sitters. So let me get started. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the horseshoe spread, but it goes, let's see, there's the past, present, what's helping, obstacles, attitudes, like each symbol or each card in the spread means something. So the first card is going to represent the past, and the card that I pulled for you guys is the Emperor. Okay, so this is an authority figure. It talks about material wealth, leadership, powerful influence. There's a dignity, power, masculine energy, paternal dominance. Paternal meaning a male or a father figure, or could represent, since this is a general reading, it could either represent your family life, your relationship with your loved one, your romantic relationship, or it could represent like work or what have you. It's a general reading, so it could pertain to anything. So, but it could, since this is the Emperor, it is a paternal, it could represent, you know, any male figure coming into your life or has already come into your life. It talks about finances, material resources. There's laws, and so he's the governor of laws and politics. It says it's time to pay attention to material elements in life, making money. So it talks about new job, new finances, new businesses, form companies, start companies. It talks about an important person showing up in your life, huge significance. So I wrote down below father figure or a male figure. So the Emperor and the Empress, if they are together, they are a cohesive blend. Basically, they even each other out. Without one, the whole situation kind of becomes kind of lopsided and uneven. The Emperor is one part, and the Empress is another part. So there's physical and then emotional. So the physical part is being dominant in the situation, basically. So the Empress is the mother or female figure. They balance each other out. Without one, it's unbalanced. So if this was a past experience, sorry, I'm getting a little warm. If this was a past experience, I'm going to have to say that either in your relationship or if it's your finances or what have you, it feels like it wasn't really working out. There's my little boy. He's not supposed to be in here. Can you go in? Go on.
Show videos.
Okay, he wants me to show you guys his little shark in a bag. He caught a shark in a net. So, there you go. Go on, buddy. Go play. So, yeah. I feel like there wasn't a successful blend. Either it wasn't working financially or emotionally. Something was lacking in the situation. And just simply because the Empress was not in the rest of the cards, it feels like that. So I might come back to this card. The next card I am going to pull represents the present situation. This is the Five of Pentacles. There's a loss of faith, loss of financial stability, security, struggles. And if you see, there's two beggars. And they're actually not focused on the warmth and everything going on. This is symbolism for, like, a situation that could be improved. But all they're actually doing is focusing on what they lost. And the snow that they're sitting on is actually preventing future growth. Let me see in my notes. The beggars are not focusing on what can help the situation, even though there's light and warmth or help coming from the church or the window. It's inhibiting future growth, uncertainty, tense, anxiety, loss of some kind. Could be physical, emotional, financial, anything. Lack of self-esteem, loss of faith, goodness in life. So this is a really bleak and sad and kind of disappointing situation that kind of has came up. And since this is a general reading, I'm hoping that multiple people can relate to it. So it could be, again, your finances, relationships, pretty much anything. It doesn't seem like it's a really healthy situation that you've come to. Like, it feels like in the past it was kind of like dominance and domineering and kind of suppressive nature. That's what the Emperor was talking about, is it wasn't a healthy situation, and it's brought you to a point where you've lost your focus or goal and needing inspiration to kind of break through that kind of slump that you've kind of not created for yourself, but you've kind of been thrown into. I'm going to move on to the next card. I'll see if during the reading, I kind of pick up stuff in my mind, and I might come back to it. I get flashes of images and stuff, so if something comes up, I'll come back to those cards. So the next card that I'm going to pull for you, hold on one second, let me tell my son to be a little more quiet. Okay, so the next card I'm going to pull for you is what is helping the situation, and that is the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords, radical changes, illusions uncloaked, truth and justice revealed. There's a double-edged sword, so both sides are sharp, right? Double-edged sword equals good and bad, and it could either heal or kill. So the point of the sword, I don't know if you could actually see, but the very tip of the sword, each little thing in a card actually has a certain symbolism, and I wrote down what I felt like was important, and that's why I'm bringing it up. But the very point of the sword represents the true perception. Hold on one second, Jude wants something. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I know it's only like a second when I pause it, but that was really like 5 minutes. So I was talking about the point. So that equals the true perception. And there's a crown somewhere on here. I think it's the leaves that are actually formed in a crown. Let's see. The crown is the height of attainment. And each one of these leaves or branches are different. So one is an olive branch and the other one is a palm leaf. So the olive branch, I think the olive branch right here, it represents peace, and the palm branch or palm leaf represents victory, right? It talks about evaluating things, take a step back, radical change is imminent, outlook might not be favorable, but, sorry, I scribbled, but outcome is positive and promising, need to clear impartial decisions, serious, I can't read my writing, I scribbled, looks like doctor's writing. So it talks about struggles. You need to face your struggles before finding solutions. So with the last two cards that I pulled for you, guys. Okay, so one, there was a dominant situation. The next card talks about you coming out of that situation and kind of feeling lost and hopeless and not knowing how to kind of proceed in your next step. That's what this Baker's card to me feels like. And then this card is what could help the situation. What could help the situation is kind of rising above it. Kind of taking a step back, either mentally, physically, or emotionally, taking a step back, evaluate your situation, the past, the present, the future, everything that you want to do in life, and figure out where you want to go. So this is a really positive, high, bless you, baby. This is a high positive card that tells you it's not over. You still have hope, and it's all up to you if you want to kind of proceed. So I don't know if there was issues in the past where you feel like you were kind of taken advantage of, and I don't know if that, since it is a general reading and I'm projecting this towards the whole group, it feels like I'm getting pulled in different directions. Like one person, this is about emotional, another person is about work, another person's about spirituality, and or maybe a mother passing. I get that somebody's mother has, or a female figure. I don't know if it's a mother, but I see a lady that's passed. So in this reading, I'm like, okay, which person do I need to direct this towards? So whatever the situation may be that you are struggling with right now, what is helping is kind of like focusing on the good stuff. There's good and bad to every situation, and you just have to think of it objectively, kind of see where the best, like with the beggars, they're too focused on the ground, right? They're too focused on all this bad stuff that has happened. They don't see that there's actually warmth, that they could actually improve their situation. And let's see. So this card tells me that you need to change your perspective and kind of look outside the box and kind of think differently. Change your way of thinking. There's radical changes that are going to be happening either with your job or with your family or what have you. And it's looking to be positive with this card. So the next card is going to represent attitude. No, obstacles. Sorry. I didn't really write it in order. I kind of wrote my feelings as I went along. Sorry, I was trying to, my foot was falling asleep. I was sitting on it. So, the next card is going to represent your obstacles. The obstacles could be the issues that are coming up in the future or that have already happened or something that you're struggling with now. So, if it doesn't make sense now, it could make sense in the future, basically is what I'm saying. So, the next card that I pulled for you is the Hierophant. I think I'm saying that right. Search for meaning, usually spirituality, but could mean just to gain knowledge. Like if you're pregnant and you're having issues with your body or what have you, the best situation is to go find your doctor and talk to somebody that actually knows what you're going through, right? So it doesn't have to be spirituality, right? So this card just tells me that you need to get better knowledge, basically. Enlightenment, unity of mind, body, and spirit. It talks about the spiritual world, the gates between heaven and hell, or earth and spiritual plane. Wish to gain / learn knowledge. Using mind to find answers. Emperor and Empress form a whole. Without one, the other is in balance. Okay, so the same thing. It feels like there is... It was, let's see. The first card, the Emperor, a male figure. It feels like it's unstable, right? So this next card, the same thing. Without the Empress or the High Priest. Wait. There is another half to this card. I think it's the High Priestess. Well, either way, there is an imbalance happening right now. That without one, this is the second card that came up, that it feels like something is missing, basically. And since this is the obstacle in the situation, it feels like there's blockages happening, that somebody isn't facing the reality of the situation, maybe. And it talked about mind, body, and spirit. So if you're having relationship issues, the need to focus on healthier alternatives, either focusing on yourself, healing yourself, or finding a different way to argue. If you're there's good and bad ways to argue, right? There's healthier ways to get your point across than just yelling at each other, right? So if it's pertaining to relationship issues, each part of the mind, body, and spirit need to be healthy to have a healthy relationship. You can't try to help somebody else. I think I posted this in my original comment. I was saying that you can't help other people if you are not feeling good yourself, right? That's weird that that's coming up in this card. So let's see. And it talks about heaven and hell and the spiritual plane. I don't know if somebody has had a loved one. It came up before. A lady was coming trying to talk to me. I'm trying to not block her out, but I'm trying to focus on the reading. And I told her to give me my space while I'm doing the reading, respectively. So that's coming up again, that somebody might have passed. I don't know if somebody has had a loved one that's passed, but that's coming up again in the reading. And this, since this person is usually a person that you go to for help, do you have issues with your job? You're having issues with your job and you need to go talk to someone higher up. Or if you're having emotional things, like mental or emotion, I keep seeing a doctor. So, like I said doctor before with a pregnancy, but it could mean mental health. So I don't know if somebody in the group is having mental health issues and they really don't know. It could just be anxiety. If you're having anxiety and you don't know kind of how to step outside your box, this is the person that you need to talk to. Whatever, this is the obstacle that you need to overcome, is to kind of step out of your comfort zone and go talk to somebody about these things and not keep it all bottled up, basically. I think that's where this card is going, is that you have to go talk to somebody, if a professional, not just, well, it could just be a friend or family member that you need to speak to, but it tells me that you need to kind of break away from your shell and actually go talk to somebody to figure out what really is the issue. You have all these things bottled up. So the next card is going to represent, the attitudes. And the attitudes could mean multiple things. It could mean your attitude. It could mean the attitude you're supposed to have. It could mean the attitude of other people. Or it could represent the attitude that's going to happen, or change in attitude. Either yours or somebody else's, basically. And that card that I pulled,
or like
is the Strength card. Jude wants to see it.
Or like the attitude of animals.
The attitude of animals. There is animals in this card. Ah! Okay, so strength represents courage, self-discipline, fortitude, determination, endurance, powerful energy. It could be destructive impulses, curbed, emotional fortitude, personal courage and discipline to reach goal, bravery, inner struggles, and it talks about vices. I don't know if any of you know what a vice is, like when you're going through day-to-day life and you have this one thing that kind of helps you cope, right? Like cigarettes, smoking, eating junk food. Me, I'm the first one to admit that I have an addiction to cookies. I love cookies, and that would be my vice. If I'm feeling down or upset, I'll just eat some sweets, right? Well, this card tells you that you need to give up something. It talks about giving up that vice, kind of having that self-discipline to kind of say no. And it could represent codependency. If you're dependent on somebody, it's time to kind of break away from that and kind of step backwards and not be so dependent on other people, or emotionally codependent.
Yeah.
So let's see. Inner struggles, giving up one thing to gain another. Without effort and endurance, nothing worthwhile can be accomplished. So if you're trying to give, you have to have that determination to kind of push through it and have that fortitude, strength, and determination to kind of like push through whatever it is. And since it is a general reading, it's so hard because I keep getting pulled in different directions. But yeah, that's the attitude that either you have or you need to have, or the person that you're in conflict with that might need to pick up that strength. So the next card that I'm going to pull for you will represent what you should do. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I know it's only a few seconds, but the next card is going to represent what you should do. Okay, so this is the King of Pentacles. It talks about hard work, ambition, perseverance, success. The Pentacles, I don't know if you could actually see in the card. The Pentacles usually represent coins or money, finances, and that sort of thing, but it talks about Earth's magic. And in his other hand, I don't know if you could see, but he's holding an orb. And it could represent other things, but the orb represents authority. And let's see. There's grapes hanging on the vines right here. I don't know if you could actually see it. It just looks like a piece of meat in the video, but those are grapes hanging right there. The grapes represent Earth's riches. If you can see in the background, there's a castle. So that equals wealth, social status, comfort. Okay, so this card, to me, what you should do. So it talks about wealth, social status, comfort, success, wealth of money and power, willingness to work hard to achieve status, public acclaim and admiration. Hard work is needed in order to attain success and power. Okay, so for all the other cards, it feels like there was blockages happening and needing to focus on the future and that sort of thing. Well, you can't get anywhere in life if you just sit on your butt. If you want things to happen, you need to actually physically get up and do it, right? And this card says that you can't be afraid of everything, the chances of failure, right? You have to get up and work hard and know what you need to do to actually, sorry, I keep getting tickled. Know what you need to do to actually be ambitious and get up and go for it. The next card will represent the outcome. The Page of Wands. This is a new creative idea, seeds of inspiration, imagination. Pages are usually messengers bringing news, promise of creative ideas, potential. There's tiny yet potentially brilliant spark of inspiration. Just need to support and nurture it. So anything is possible if you work hard. You have all these blockages happening, and it's up to you if you want to kind of change your circumstance. Either emotionally, physically, financially, you have the physical capability to kind of break through all this junk and move forward with your life. If you have somebody that is emotionally toxic and draining in your life, break away. It's time to say goodbye. I don't need you. Kind of rise above and get out of the situation. If this is regarding financial instability, if you are having issues at your job, or if you're looking for a job and you can't find a job, you have to change your mindset and get out there and put your foot to the pavement and actually try as hard as you can. Change your perspective. If you're down in the dumps and kind of emotionally drained and you don't know how to get up in the morning and you feel like you're just an emotional wreck and yada yada yada, it's all about perspective, basically. That it's time to change your thought process instead of being super sad and depressed all the time. I know it's not that easy to change your perspective, but that's what the cards are saying, that it's time to kind of break away from old habits. That's what the Tower was saying, I think. Or maybe that was in my other reading. I think that was in my other reading. But there's strength. Letting go of old habits and having self-discipline. Not focusing on the bad and look at the good. Dominance, break away from a dominant situation where you have no power. All these things are leading up to a situation where you personally have the strength and determination to let go and move on. So at the very end of my readings, I like to pull clarification cards. Not too many readers like to do this. I do it because I think it's fun and it just kind of touches base on everything that I've kind of gone over. And it just, a little extra for you guys. So, the two cards that I pulled for you guys. Oh, sorry. They were regular. They weren't reversed. So, the Ace of Wands in this card says energy, passion, creativity, excitement. The Devil card, removing unhealthy blockages so energy can flow again. So even though the Devil looks really scary and there's lust and blockages happening, and it's time to remove those blockages so all that healthy flow can start again, that healthy flow of energy. This one is super positive, looking towards the future, handed opportunities. Basically, it's up to you guys to kind of like break out of old habits, break out of your shell, get away from destructive people, and look towards positive new beginnings, basically. This is all I got. I hope it makes sense to some of you. I'm hoping it does. If none of it has made sense, if you can't take a little bit of here and there and see how it pertains to your life, I could surely try to do another personal reading one-on-one for you. As I said before, I am struggling with health issues right now. My migraines. Feels like my head's gonna explode. But I will try to help you guys. So yeah, either if you want to message me or just make a comment down below. Give me some feedback. Let me know how you think, how it went. Yeah, I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys have a good day or night. I don't know what time it is there, but it is almost time for me to get dinner and my son in the bath. So I will talk to you all later. Bye!